with a very simple question. Through 3 games for the Carolina Panthers, where's the running game? That's your bread and butter, isn't it? That's what you build the offense around, isn't it? That's the bill of goods we were sold, so where is it? You got one of the highest paid offensive lines in the sport. Granted, they're kind of banged up right now, a little injured. But the guys that you replaced them with are pretty proven as far as backup offensive linemen. You paid Chuba Hubbard. You brought in Rico Dowdle. You drafted Trevor Etienne. You have a play caller who is dedicated to the run and talks about being a physical offense. So where is it? And just so you know, I'm not asking this just off some, like, I'm going to incite some response, or I'm asking this with, I'm just going to get you going crazy. No, I'm asking this because there's facts. They are 21st in rushing attempts, 25th in rushing yards, 24th in yards per attempt, 21st in estimated points added by their rushing offense in total. They have just 2 rushing touchdowns this year through 3 games. One of them is by Bryce Young on a scramble. I don't know if the rushing offense should get to claim that one.
Shouldn't.
Their longest rush is 22 yards. Bryce Young, again, the longest rush by a running back is 14 yards. It's hard to eat like that. Like, listen, running averages, like yards per attempt and all those things, are often heavily skewed by the big plays, right? It's really hard to average like 5 yards per carry without one big one, right? You got to go get the 60-yarder just to average out some of the hit in the backfields. You're not going to be able to do that if your longest rush is 14 yards. 14. And I could have kept going. I could have kept scrolling on the stats page, but I thought you would get the picture based on the numbers I just gave you. They are top half of the league in almost nothing rushing offense related. Now, I will throw the asterisk of they've spent a lot of time behind, okay? And in those cases, you're trying to throw your way back into the game. You're trying to sling the rock, and you're trying to find a way into the back into the game. But also, you won 30-0. So in at least 1/3 of your games, you led darn near the entire game. So it's not completely, the reason why you're behind in some of this. Do you know what's the worst part about this conversation?
What's that?
I like answers, right? We decided we were going to ask, where's the running game? Where'd it go? What do you do to fix it? And I'm somebody, I like, the way I say it is I don't like just being a problems guy. I like being an answers guy. I don't really have an easy one here. It's not, Rico Dowdle so much more efficient than your starter. You got to play the guy. It's not that. It's not, the offensive line's playing bad. They're actually, if you watch some of the film, they're moving some bodies. It's one of those things where every play, and I watched a bunch of film today on it, every play, it's one thing, right? It's why football is the ultimate team sport. You need 11 guys all doing their job well enough to have success. And in the running game for the Panthers, it's kind of, all the players did their assignment correctly, but the defensive coordinator got the better of Dave Canales on scheme, right? Sent a run blitz at the right time, had a stunt at the right time, whatever it is. All right, he had the play call right, but there was an MA. There was a missed assignment, and a guard went the wrong way or whatever and missed their block. All right, it was a good play call. Everybody knew their assignment, but somebody just got individually beat. Meaning they knew who to block, they tried to block them, and they shed the block and made the tackle. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. Or maybe it's something like everybody's set up right, you deliver your running back to the second level, which a lot of times is like that's the goal, right? If your running back has some space and one second-level defender to beat, that is a successful run play. And then you just need your running back to be a dude, right? You need to make a miss. You need to shake off the tackle. You need to use the spin move. You need to use the stiff arm. You need to do something. And, the defensive player makes a good play and gets Chuba on the ground or gets Dowdle on the ground. And that turns what, one missed tackle would have been a 20-yard gain into a 5-yard gain. Still a good play, still a positive, but it's not going to change your outlook on your running game. So that, the reason why I didn't like this answer is I don't think there's a way to have this conversation without sounding like Bear Bryant or something, without sounding like a Disney Channel original movie coach where the speech just has to be, I need 11 guys working together as one. We're better as a fist than we are as 5 outstretched fingers. But I think for the running game, that's it. And then you get the ripple effect, right? When Bryce is trusted to throw it and somebody like Fritterer and McMillan is open, they have to connect. They have to complete it, right? McMillan has some drops. Bryce has some bad reads, whatever. Like, they have to complete it. So now the defense won't stack the box. They can move back a little bit, and there's more room in the running game, and that pertains to everybody in the passing game, right? It's all connected in football.
One of our YouTube commenters said, this one comes from Michael, said, well, we ran well last game. We always had a short field, so the stats don't pop. I was like, well, the longest run in that game for the Carolina Panthers was 8 yards. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard each had 8-yard runs. That's it.
They ran well in that it made sense in game flow.
In game flow, yes.
To keep running it, and whether you were having success or not, just every 40-second play clock off the game clock was fantastic. I hear that, but part of me disagrees that they ran it well. They ran it well in game flow, like in game script, it makes sense. But very rarely was I watching this game going, oh, okay, perfect. They're dominating up front and they're going to go, cruise down the field and score. Matter of fact, they scored on the opening drive, which the biggest plays were pass plays.
Yeah, they only ran the ball one time. All right.
And then the offense didn't score again until the fourth quarter, right? So that's a big gap where the running game, if it was working well, would have been like just the motor, the steamroller that cranked away and scored a bunch of points. The 30 is, I think, distracting some people because you get a pick six, you get some short fields. 30 can happen almost by accident, and that's not the right way to think about it, but a little bit, right? Little by accident, you can score a bunch. It's not as exciting as you'd think.
But even if you look at early in games against Jacksonville and Arizona, before the score even got out of hand, the run game wasn't there, and those games either. So this is a trend thing. So again, we haven't really seen the big burst plays or consistent, hey, you follow an 8-yard run with a 7-yard run. We haven't seen those consecutive big chunks plays in the run game so far. Like you said, Chuba Hubbard's longest run this year is 14.
And I knew, to be clear, I'm saying I have some secret information. We all watch the same games. We knew that about Chuba, right? If there is a knock on Chuba, it's He's really solid between the tackles. He's really good at getting what's there. He's a pretty good, decent, at least pass catcher. He doesn't have home run speed, and in the open field, he rarely turns the 12-yard run into the 40-yard run. Like that's the thing that he doesn't have that the elite running backs in the NFL do. But you're right. You don't have, at least not often this year, the 5-yard run followed up by the 7-yard run followed up by the 5-yard run and the 9-yard run. Like, you don't even have what he did very well last year, which were like quarters that it felt like he took over. By the way, looking at the Falcons-Panthers game, the Falcons rushed 23 times for 131 yards. The Panthers rushed 30 times for 110 yards. The Falcons were behind that entire game, and they still put together at least an efficient run offense, which is why when I brought up those stats to tell the story at the beginning, they weren't all pure volume stats. It wasn't just yards. It was yards per rush. It wasn't just rushing touchdowns. It was estimated points added by the rushing offense, right? You try to get the things that are not just volume but rate statistics to show like, all right, yeah, maybe you didn't run it as often because you were behind in 2 games, but when you did run it, it was good. Instead, what we're seeing is they're below average in efficiency and below average in volume, which indicates it's not just they haven't had the opportunity to run very often by game flow. Now, again, coming back to not just being a problems guy, being a solutions guy, and looking for a way to try to fix it, I think it really does come down to you need to all put it together. They're all capable. right? They're all capable. Cade Mays, I don't think is a huge drop off from Austin Corbett. There's enough there. I still like Chuba Hubbard as a talent. I like Rico Dowdle as a talent. I thought he looked a hint better than Chuba did this past week on the opportunities he was given. But either one of them are they're 1,000-yard rushers last year. You need everybody to, ready for this, Belichick fans, do their job. And you'll be all right. But as long as there keeps being that one weak link on each play, you're not going to get where you want to go in the run game. And do you know what else is bad about that? Again, with the nature of it all being connected, it puts a lot more pressure on Bryce Young. And right now, the last thing the Carolina Panthers should want to do is put more pressure on Bryce Young. I'm not saying you should be able to win every game by 30 with him throwing for 120 yards, but I also do not want to ask him to have to keep picking up third downs and longs because first down you ran for 2 yards. First down you ran for -1. I don't want to keep asking him to have to pick up the slack for what was supposed to be a strength of the offense. And if you are asking him to pick up the slack, please tell him to also throw it to Tepper McMillan. Or Jalen Coker once he comes back, hopefully, as soon as that IR stint is up.
By the way, speaking of the Panthers and IR stints and all those kinds of things, we actually have an updated injury report today. So Pat Jones, the hamstring injury, did not practice again. Xavier Legette did not practice again with a hamstring injury. Tepper McMillan didn't practice today with a calf injury. I didn't hear what Dave Canales had to say about that today because we were already on air at that point. Jatavian Sanders dealing with that ankle injury did not practice today either. So we knew about Jatavian Sanders. Turk Wharton didn't practice again because of his hamstring injury. We expect him to be out this coming week. DJ Wanham, also on the injury report, did not practice today due to a hip injury. And some guys got limited work like Rico Dowdle, J.C. Horn, Taylor Moton, just rest.
And
Hunter Renfrow had a kid.
He probably wasn't a practice today.
He was not.
All right, so who was catching passes? Legette didn't play, Sanders didn't play, Tepper McMillan didn't play, Hunter Renfrow didn't play.
That would be a lot of David Moore, Bryson Tremaine,
probably some Jimmy Horn Jr.
Jr. Dan Chazina just signed back to the practice squad. Let's go. DeLavon Campbell.
Let's hope they're being on the cautious side. Which by this point in the season, if you play a lot of snaps, you're nursing something. It would make sense if they're just being a little cautious. I'm fine with that, but let's hope it's definitely just that because no offense to Dan Chazina, who was just signed back to the practice squad. If I see him getting some targets on Sunday, I'm going to assume that means something not great is happening on offense for the Carolina Panthers.
And we've seen the Panthers be very cautious when it comes to soft tissue injuries.
Which I get.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% okay with that.
Remember what I say. Hammies go quiet. They don't go away. Just ask Mike Evans. They pop back up over and over and over again.